Here's your complete storytelling script. Some moments change a life forever, not because of money or power, but because someone chooses kindness instead of judgment. Imagine being so hungry that every bite of your lunch matters, yet having to beg a stranger not to throw it away. Now imagine that stranger opening the lunchbox after you're gone and discovering something that changes both of your lives forever. What would you do if a simple lunchbox revealed a story of love, sacrifice, and hope? Stay with me until the very end because this unforgettable story proves that the smallest act of compassion can become the greatest miracle someone ever receives. Before we begin, if stories like this touch your heart, please subscribe to spread kindness, give this video a like, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories that remind the world kindness still exists. Emma Parker had worked as the cleaning lady at Hartwell Technologies for almost 4 years. Every evening after the employees went home, she quietly pushed her cleaning cart through the polished hallways. Most people never noticed her. Some walked past without even saying hello. A few smiled politely, but no one really knew her story. Emma was 38 years old, a single mother raising her 9-year-old daughter, Lily. Every dollar she earned paid for rent, school supplies, groceries, and medicine for Lily's asthma. There was never enough left over, but Emma always made sure her daughter had everything she needed, even if it meant skipping meals herself. Every morning before school, Lily carefully packed her mother's lunch. It wasn't much. Usually, it was a peanut butter sandwich, an apple cut into slices, and a handwritten note folded inside the lunchbox. Emma treasured those notes more than the food. One rainy Thursday, Emma arrived at work feeling weak. She hadn't eaten breakfast because she had given the last bowl of oatmeal to Lily. Around noon, she placed her lunchbox inside the employee refrigerator before continuing her work. That same afternoon, Richard Hartwell, the company's CEO, announced an important meeting with several investors. The office buzzed with activity. Employees hurried everywhere preparing conference rooms and organizing documents. While checking the kitchen area before the guests arrived, Richard noticed an old lunchbox sitting alone in the refrigerator. It looked worn and faded beside the expensive catered meals that had just been delivered. Thinking someone had forgotten it from the previous day, he picked it up and called out if it belonged to anyone. At that exact moment, Emma rushed into the kitchen. "Please, don't throw away my lunch," she whispered softly, almost embarrassed to speak. Richard looked surprised. "I wasn't going to," he answered. Emma lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry. I can't afford to waste food." She gently took the lunchbox and hurried away before he could respond. Richard stood there silently. Something about her trembling voice stayed with him all afternoon. Hours later, after everyone had left, Richard noticed the same lunchbox sitting on a counter beside the cleaning supplies. Emma had accidentally forgotten it while rushing home to pick up Lily from her after-school program. He remembered her desperate words. "Don't throw away my lunch." Curious, he picked it up, hoping to identify its owner before the building closed. When he opened it, he didn't find anything valuable. Half of the sandwich was untouched. The apple slices had turned slightly brown. But lying beside them was a small folded note written in colorful crayon. It read, "Mom, I know you always tell me you're full, but I know sometimes you let me eat your food instead. Please eat the whole sandwich today. I want you to stay healthy because you're my superhero. Love you forever. Lily." Richard read the note once. Then again. His hands began to shake. He remembered his own childhood after his father died unexpectedly. His mother had worked 2 jobs and often claimed she wasn't hungry. Years later, he realized she had been giving her meals to him. Tears filled his eyes as memories rushed back. The next morning, Richard arrived at work earlier than anyone else. Instead of calling another executive meeting, he asked Human Resources to bring him Emma's employment file. He learned she had never missed a shift, never received a complaint, and had turned down promotions because flexible evening hours allowed her to care for Lily. That evening, Richard waited until Emma finished cleaning. She looked nervous when he approached. "I'm sorry about the lunchbox," she said quickly. "I forgot it." Richard smiled gently. I opened it. Emma's face turned pale. I shouldn't have, Richard continued. But I'm grateful I did. She looked confused. Richard handed her the folded note. I think your daughter is right. You are a superhero. Emma couldn't hold back her tears. She apologized again, embarrassed that someone had seen such a personal message. Richard quietly shook his head. No. I'm the one who should apologize. For what? For running a company where someone working this hard still worries about losing one sandwich. Those words stunned Emma. The following week, Hartwell Technologies announced several new employee programs. Every employee received free healthy lunches every workday. The company created an emergency family assistance fund. Parents were offered flexible schedules and childcare support. Cleaning staff received raises equal to other support departments. No one knew exactly why these changes happened. Only Richard and Emma knew the truth. Several months later, Richard visited Lily's elementary school during career day. Instead of talking about profits or business success, he shared the story of a little girl who packed lunches filled with love. Without revealing their names, he explained how one note inside an old lunchbox reminded him what real leadership looked like. After his presentation, one young student raised her hand. So, being rich doesn't make someone important? Richard smiled warmly. No, he answered. Being kind does. That answer spread far beyond the classroom. Employees started checking on coworkers more often. Managers began asking how families were doing instead of only discussing deadlines. People greeted the cleaning staff by name. Birthdays were celebrated together. The office slowly became less like a workplace and more like a community. One evening, Emma found another note inside her lunchbox. This time it wasn't from Lily. It simply said, "Thank you for reminding us that every person carries a story we cannot see." It wasn't signed. It didn't need to be. Emma smiled all the way home. That night, she hugged Lily tighter than ever before. You changed more lives than you know, she whispered. Lily laughed. All I did was make you lunch. Emma smiled through happy tears. Sometimes that's exactly how kindness changes the world. The greatest miracles rarely arrive with flashing lights or loud applause. They begin with quiet moments, a shared meal, a handwritten note, a gentle whisper asking someone not to throw away a simple lunch. Before judging someone, remember that every person you meet may be carrying a burden you cannot see. Your kindness could become the turning point they never expected. If this story touched your heart, carry its message with you today. Smile at someone. Offer a helping hand. Show compassion without expecting anything in return. Because when kindness is shared, hope grows, lives change, and the world becomes a brighter place for us all.